Welcome to this, the third of 10 debates presented by the City Club of Cleveland in this very important 2008 election cycle. I'm Jan Roller, Vice President of the City Club Board of Directors. The City Club has a long and proud history of hosting debates for public office. Whether the race is perceived by the pollsters to be close, or whether the pundits consider it high profile, the City Club of Cleveland provides an opportunity for those interested in their government to learn more about the issues and candidates. And here at the City Club, we go face to face, in person and in depth. And yes, you, the audience and voters, will get to ask the questions. Many thanks to those of you who are here and to those watching and listening, including our new partnership with the Cuyahoga County Public Library. Today we are joined electronically with guests watching live from the Maple Heights branch in the heart of the 11th Congressional District, and they will be able to ask a question or two later in the program. 60 minutes will go by very quickly, so let's proceed. We are delighted to have Eric Wellman as our moderator for today's debate, the regional host of Morning Edition on 90.3. His newscasts are there, and the interviews can be heard weekly from 6 to 9 a.m., and he is certainly familiar with the political dynamics of Cuyahoga County. So, Eric, welcome.
Thank you, Jan. I'm delighted to be here to moderate today's debate for Ohio's 11th Congressional District. I'm going to go over the rules now for the opening portion of the debate. Each candidate will have a total of 10 minutes for both an opening statement as well as a rebuttal. It's their choice how they divide up that time. Again, we'll hear from each candidate twice in this segment, opening statements from each, rebuttals from each, with a total time of 10 minutes for each. After opening and rebuttal, we'll move to questions from the audience, and then we'll have a closing question that I will ask to each of the candidates. Our candidates are the Democratic nominee, currently the mayor of Warrensville Heights, Marcia Fudge, and her Republican challenger, Thomas Pekarek of Cleveland. He's a self-employed businessman and a Republican precinct committee man. Welcome to both of you. We're also very pleased to welcome the audience with us here today, and I know that many of you support one candidate or the other, and I do caution the audience that excessive cheering will be factored in, and it could shorten the candidate's time for rebuttal. So if you could just keep that in mind, that would be excellent. The order of presentation was determined by a drawing a few minutes ago, and Mayor Fudge will present first.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the City Club and our sponsor today for providing this forum for us. I also want to thank all of you for coming. I do want to recognize my family who is sitting over here. Wave your hands over there. And my campaign staff, people from the city of Warrensville Heights, the staff there. And I do as well want to say to all my friends who are mayors, there's a table of mayors there, I want to say thank you for coming as well. And for our state rep, Sandra Williams is here, thank you all. The 11th Congressional District of Ohio is one of the most challenging districts in the United States. Its diversity calls for a seasoned person that can quickly assess the issues and start to develop a plan of action. I know the district. I work with the people in this district, and I have worked with them for many years, not just through my 9 years as mayor, but for many years. I know the mayors. I know the other elected officials, the county officials, the council people. I know people who can come together and work for change and for growth. I think that it is significant that as we move into this very difficult time in this country, that we want to be sure that we have a person representing the 11th District who already knows how to do some of what needs to be done. In my job as mayor, I currently deal with budgets. I deal with capital improvements. I deal with infrastructure. I deal with taxes. I deal with all of the issues that would come before me as a congressperson. I deal with public finance. I deal with revenue. I am the most prepared person to represent you in the nation's capital. I know that there are a number of things that we need to address as we move forward. One is the economy. I mean, we all know that the confidence of this country has been shaken by what has happened in the financial markets. We know that there's no confidence in our government today. So we need to deal with the fact that we have to create new jobs in this nation. And I would say to you that my record suggests not only that I know how to create jobs, but in fact have created more than 3,400 jobs in the city of Warrensville Heights in the last 9 years. Brought in more than $500 million in new development and infrastructure. I know how to do it. We also need to make a real decision that we're going to invest in clean energy. We use now 43% of all of the world's oil. We have to find a way to bring those things back into our country because that too creates jobs. And we must at all costs bring confidence back to this country. We need to address poverty. The thing that's so important about this district is it is the most diverse district in the United States. We have some of the richest people in the country here and some of the poorest. It's no secret that Cleveland has over the last 3 years been either #1 or #2 in poverty in this nation. The first thing we need to do is bring back manufacturing. Part of the problem we have with this whole mortgage crisis now is that we stopped making things. We don't produce anything. And so when all of this money was out there to flood the markets, the only place they could put it was in mortgages because we don't make anything. So we have to go back to doing things that put people back to work. And that's one of the ways that you really address the poverty issue. As well as we have to give people in our inner city communities access to jobs. We have to get them there. So we need to take a real good look at our transportation system. We need to look at our education system. The No Child Left Behind Act must be amended so that it is more fair, it is flexible, and it is fully funded. We also need to make sure that it addresses the disparities between school systems. We need to ensure that all of our children have the same access to quality education and it not be based on a formula that the state of Ohio has as to who has what amount of money. We need to look at health care. We need to expand Medicaid and the state children's employee health insurance program. We live in a part of the country that is blessed with 2 of the largest health institutions in the world. We have the best health care in the world right here in this district. But we have so many people who have no access to health care, and it's a shame. And we need to do something about it. As a lawyer, we were always taught that every criminal has a right to a lawyer, no matter how bad, no matter how heinous their crime. I say that in this time, in this day and time, every child should have a right to a doctor. We have to do something about it. We also need to address the war. We're spending $12 billion a month in Iraq and Afghanistan. And lastly, as I take my seat, I do want to say that we have to understand that as elected officials, as government officials, as public servants, our job is to make sure that our people are safe, that our people have a decent place to live. The job of government is to take care of its people, and if you elect me, I certainly will do everything I can to take care of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Fudge. Now we're going to have opening remarks from Mr. Pekarek.
Good afternoon, one and all. Everybody from the City Club, thank you very much for inviting us to do this debate for the 11th District. Thank you, Mayor, for being here as well, and for all the people that have showed up for the meal and stuff. This is the 11th District. It is the most diverse, as my opponent has said, district in the state. It goes through the complete extremes. I think everybody here will agree that the most important issue facing our government at this time is the economic crisis, the housing crisis, which kind of spawned it. I have